force 6 is the one time that the donkey theorem works, but we don't write it as the donkey theorem because it's unique. It's not any donkey setup. And here's why it's not, okay? So if you look at these two pictures, the red triangle has an angle, a side, and a side, marked congruent to an angle, a side, and a side, right? Are those two triangles congruent? No. What happened was this side, if you swing it this way, comes here and still hits this side at the same plane, I guess you would say, okay? So that's why ASS does not work. You cannot use ASS ever. You still cannot use ASS ever. However, when a right triangle shows up, ASS works, but we don't call it ASS because it's unique. It has a right angle in it. So our sides are not just S's. We call them the different parts of a right triangle, which will be these two things, right? These two that form the right angle in a right triangle, those are called the legs. What's that longest side called?
Base.
Not the base. The one that's always across from a right angle. Do you know? Oh, you're on the right track though. Yeah, Sam. It's the hypotenuse, right? So this is a hypotenuse, okay? Which is why the name of this theorem is hypotenuse leg. It's not angle side side because your sides are specific. They're either legs or they're hypotenuses because it's a right triangle, okay? So the only time that ASS works is when you call it HL in a right triangle. So you still won't ever swear at me. Never tell me ASS. If you tell me ASS, it's wrong. If it's a right triangle, it's a hypotenuse and a leg, so you need to use HL, okay? So for the HL theorem, the way that you can use it is if you, it's still, so far we've done three things: side, 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 angle, side, angle, right? You needed three things to be true for this to work out. HL looks like you only need two things, but that's not true. You still do need three things, but we only name it with two letters, okay? Here are the three things you need. Number one, you need congruent hypotenuses. Okay, so you must have the hypotenuse. You cannot just have the two legs and call it HL, okay? Now you can have the two legs and call it something else. I'll show you that in a minute. But if you're gonna call it HL, you have to have the hypotenuses. That's what the H stands for, okay? The second one is you have to have congruent corresponding legs. Okay, so the legs that match up with each other will be congruent. And then the last thing is you have to have two right triangles. Okay, you have to have two right triangles for this HL theorem to work. Let me just real quick show you something, just so we're clear on one other option. If I don't have the hypotenuse, if they just say that leg is congruent to that leg and this leg is congruent to that leg, is that HL? No, that would be LL if it existed. It doesn't. But what can we call that? The other way, SAS, right? That is side, angle, side. So you can have SAS with right angles. You cannot have HL with non-right angles, okay? So HL has to be right triangles. Let me just show you why HL works, okay? If I were to extend a line here, what's the measure of that angle? 180. The whole thing, yes. The one right next to it is 90, right? Because the whole thing has to be 180 because it's a straight line, okay? Now, what if I made this length, and made a triangle of it? So if I measured it, right, so that those lengths were the same. Now I have those two sides. I also know that those two sides are congruent because they're reflexive, right? So I know those two right triangles are congruent by SAS. That means by CPCTC, their hypotenuses will be congruent. So I can do hypotenuse, leg with every single right triangle. Okay? Basically because of CPCTC and the SAS setup. Okay, so that's why it works. Let's see if we can tell if these will give us HL. So we said there's 3 things you need to know to be able to use HL. We need to know that we have right triangles. Do we have right triangles? Yes. If these angles are marked as right angles, we know we have right triangles. We need congruent corresponding legs. Do we have that? Which ones? The 24, right, are our legs. Those are congruent because they're both a length of 24. And we need congruent hypotenuses. Do we have that? Yes, the one across from the right angle is the hypotenuse. So again, notice it looks like angle, side, side, but because we have a right angle, it's actually just HL. So we would say, are they congruent? Yes, by HL. Okay? Any questions on how HL works? Okay, then we're going to do a couple proofs with HL. One thing to be aware of is there is kind of this step in HL that feels monotonous a little bit because you can see a right angle, but somehow you still have to prove that you have right triangles, right? Because the requirement is that you have 2 right triangles. So if they tell you you have right angles, that's fine. You have to still say you have right triangles, okay? So let's take a look. We got 2 proofs here. Again, sorry for that bottom picture. I didn't finish it in time, but we'll fill it in. So this first one, remind me what you want to do before you even start the proof. What should you do? You want to mark it up, okay? So they told us WJ congruent to KZ, so mark those congruent. They told us WJ is perpendicular to KZ. They already marked that for us with a right angle. And JK perpendicular to KZ, they already marked for us as well. So we have all that stuff marked, okay? Our first step is what? The given. Did you all get that point on your quiz? Yes. Hopefully. All of this information is going here. Can you tell me where this is going, the prove part? Last step on the left, okay? That's going to go right here. I'm going to hold off on putting it there because I want you to see the process, but it will go there. Okay, so we have 3 things we need to do. We need to prove we have congruent corresponding legs. Is that done? Congruent corresponding legs. That was given, right? That's the WJ and the KZ, okay? We also have to prove we have congruent hypotenuses. Is that done? Have we proved it? We haven't proved it. How do we prove it? Reflexive. We're going to say for our next step, and this doesn't have to be the next step. You could start with the right angles. That's fine too. But JZ congruent to JZ is reflexive. Okay, so we have 2 of the 3 things. The third thing is we have to prove that we have right triangles, okay? If you look at what we have up here, what did they tell us we have? They told us we have perpendicular lines. What do perpendicular lines get you? Right angles, okay? So here's the process. Here's what you need to say. Angle W and angle K are right angles. Why do I know they're right angles? That's how I know they're congruent. I need to know they're right angles. What in our given told us they're right angles? Perpendicular. Perpendicular. So you're going to say that's the definition of perpendicular. Okay? So I know I have right angles. Then your next step, and this is the one that feels monotonous, is to say triangle JWZ and triangle ZKJ. I should have left more room for you. Are right triangles. How do we know those are right triangles? Because they have a right angle. That's the definition of a right triangle, right? A triangle that has one right angle. So you're going to use this one in nearly every HL proof. Definition of a right triangle. And can I just warn you right now, a lot of you are going to mess up on that piece of it and say definition of a right angle instead. It's not the definition of a right angle. It's the definition of a right triangle. We need to know it's a right triangle, not a right angle, okay? So be very clear that this is a triangle, not an angle, okay? Definition of a right triangle. All right, so we've proved we have two right triangles. We've proved we have two congruent corresponding legs, and we've proved we have two congruent hypotenuses. So for the last step, we can say what they asked us to prove. Triangle JWZ is congruent to triangle ZKJ by what? HL. Okay? And you can see that in your triangle. Right angle, congruent leg, congruent hypotenuse. That's HL. Okay? Okay, the second one, I got very little done on the picture, so you need to put some letters in for me. This is an A. The point where they meet is a B, C, D, and E. All right, let's talk through this one. Where do we start? Mark it up and give your given. So that, I mean, order-wise doesn't really matter. Here's your given. Okay, mark it up. CD is congruent to EA. Okay, so those are marked congruent. And it says AD is the perpendicular bisector of CE. So AD is bisecting this segment. What does that mean? What? It does mean that you have right angles. What does it mean for the length of that set of sides? Those two sides are congruent. So that's where I would start. It's not where you have to start. You could start with the right angles if you want to start with the right angles. But I would start by saying CB is congruent to BE. Okay, how do I know those two are congruent? Notice there's a word in your given.
Definition.
That's the definition of a bisector. Right? They told you it's a bisector. Okay, so definition of a bisector gives us that. So think about the three things we need. We need congruent legs. We have that. We need congruent hypotenuses. We have that. Third thing we need is congruent what? Or is we need to know we have what? Two right triangles. Okay? So we're going to start with this. They told us it is a perpendicular bisector. So we can say angle ABE make this bigger so I can draw it smaller. Angle ABE and angle DBE, nope, DBC, sorry, are right angles. How do I know those are right angles? What did they give us? They gave us perpendicular, right? If they tell you it's perpendicular, we know they're right angles. So that's definition of perpendicular. Okay? And then if we know they're right angles, I can say triangle ABE and triangle DBC are what? Right triangles, okay? How do I know they're right triangles? by the definition of what? Right triangles, right? Make sure that's a triangle, not an angle. It's not the definition of right angle. It's the definition of right triangle to have right angles, okay? So definition of right triangle. What would your fifth step be? What they asked you to prove. So triangle CBD congruent to triangle EBA by what? That's HL, okay? Couple quick reminders for you. Number one, when you are proving triangle congruent to triangle, what will your reason always be? If you're proving two triangles congruent, there's 5 options. What are your 5 options for an answer? SSS, SAS, ASA, AAS, and HL. Okay, so if you're proving triangles congruent, it is one of those 5 reasons. That is it. You may not use anything else to prove triangles congruent. Okay, now let's say on this problem, I asked you to take it one step further, and I asked you to say that to prove that AB was congruent to BD. What would your reason be? CPCTC. So just keep in mind, CPCTC will never come before the triangle congruence, right? It's always going to come after. 90% of the time, it comes right after. It's the next step. If I've proved triangles congruent, then I know everything about them is congruent. Okay? Questions on that? Okay. Want to do a quick run through of things you see in a proof? You tell me. What do you see in proofs? Always given, right? Reflexive. I need to stop writing that in cursive. I do too many humps. There we go. Reflexive. What else? Vertical angles. Definition of, and then there's a whole slew of them. Definition of perpendicular, definition of a bisector, definition of a midpoint, definition of right triangles. Am I missing any of them? Of what? I think that was it. Definition of parallel lines we haven't done. When you have parallel lines, what often shows up though? AIA. Third angles theorem. And then all the SSS, SAS, ASA, AAS, and HL. And then what always comes after? CPCTC. I feel like that's a pretty exhaustive list of what you guys will tend to see in proofs. There might be one that's missing, but that's pretty good covering. Okay? Any questions?